Hello traders, it is Thursday, August 7th, 2014. It's 8:02 a.m. Chicago time. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss. It is not suitable for all investors. My personal opinions, market data, and recommendations subject to change without notice. Past performance is not indicative of future results. ECB's Draghi is currently talking. The ECB announcement has come out as expected. Overall, to summarize what we had overnight from top to bottom, German June industrial production is at 0.3. Consensus was 1.2, so it missed. Spain has had a decent 5 and 10-year auction. Australian July employment change missed. Came in at negative 0.3 thousand versus plus 13,000. Reports Russia will ban all fruit and vegetable imports from EU and all agricultural and poultry imports from the US as retaliation for the sanctions. In Israel, Gaza, ceasefire in Gaza continues to hold into the third day. Hamas official says no agreement to extend the Gaza ceasefire. And looking at the ECB announcement, well, the Bank of England came in first. It held at 0.5% on interest rates. ECB keeps marginal lending rate unchanged at 0.4%. ECB keeps main refi rate at 0.15%, and then it keeps the deposit rate unchanged at negative 0.1% as expected. U.S. initial jobless claims came in at 289,000, better than 304,000 expected. U.S. continuing claims came in at 2.518 million, a little higher than the 2.512 million expected. ECB's Draghi says that the ECB has intensified prep work related to ABS purchases, and ECB Draghi also says the monetary policy stance will remain accommodative and is ready to use QE if needed. Again, he continues to talk, so that's going to influence the European treasuries, European markets, and will have a spillover effect into the U.S. Looking ahead at the numbers for today, 9:30 we have, this is not correct. Well, 9:30 we have gas inventories, but let me check. It looks like my service did not update its calendar. So we had initial claims at 7:30. Yeah, natural gas at 9:30, expecting 89 billion, and then noon we have a 30-year bond auction. At 2 o'clock Central, we have consumer credit change 18.55 expected, and that's really it for the day. Let's move on to the technical picture and look at some charts. So yesterday, a couple of interesting things. We had on Monday we had come into the pre-morning Trader Bites saying that we're looking for higher on Monday, 37.75, and then 45 above there. Is what was expected. The market got to 37.50. It reversed the downtrend since about July 24th, and it failed to hold that. The following day, on Tuesday, we had a gap. The gap was not able to close the prior day's close. Let me turn down this ECB thing. I don't think it's anything useful yet. Was unable to get to the prior day's gap to close it. It stopped at 30.50 as opposed to 32. And then we had a pretty fast sell-off into 1907.50, or yeah, 1907.50, and then we sat sideways with a double distribution profile. This is what we came into yesterday. Yesterday we opened out of range. Looked like an open drive. It just ticked down from the open, and then a driver came in. You could see here on the delta, it really didn't spend any time below zero on the delta at all yesterday. Just a tiny little tick at the open. And and then it immediately drove right into the LVN zone being 1775 all the way up to 20. It pushed to 1975, it pulled back, and then it finally pushed through the LVN zone. And this whole time as it was pushing up, the expectation is that if it could not take the LVN zone and hold this upper high volume node, then the expectation is for it to roll over and actually continue its move down, bringing the point of control down. My expectation yesterday was for the market to open, test higher towards 13 to 15 at most, and then to chop around and then eventually to break lower and fill in the rest of the gap. Note the low of yesterday was the low of the LVN zone left behind. I went through that from May 27th onwards. 1905.50 was an important level. 1905.50, and then the other side was 1907. 1907.50, which was the prior day's low, Tuesday's low. So this area here, I was looking for the market to fill back in. I was looking for it to break lower and then finally start attacking this gap. That was my expectation for yesterday. That expectation did not play out. The second hypothesis played out, which is to test the LVN pullback, push through, and test the high volume node up at 2450. We've essentially taken back. We've come back to the scene of the crime on that fast break lower on Tuesday. The expectation is for it to take to push all the way up to 2450. It got to 2350, and for it to hold this upper territory, reversing the point of control again, and then giving us a chance to continue to test higher than 3775. Yesterday. It did not accomplish the downside. It did not quite accomplish the second hypothesis either. It basically filled in this LVN zone, and we had what is basically a balanced day. Note that the point of control from yesterday, which is at 15.25, is basically in line with the point of control from Tuesday, which is at 15 quarter as well. Is it 15 even maybe? Yeah, maybe it's actually 15.25. I can't see it because it's obscured. So because of that, we have two balance days. Because the points of control are so close to each other, I'm seeing this as a strong coiling energy. And so I drew an MC or a microcomposite around there. Very simple to do in IRT. Just grabbing the bars I want, a composite around, squaring them up, and then bringing that forward. If you do that, if you superimpose the profile of these 2 days, you get a very sharp point of control, a point of control that has what's called high kurtosis, which is a very pointy end and pretty narrow. So now the market's trading at 1922. The point of control is the point of control has 114,000 contracts traded in it, and this region here between the MCLVN down to the MCLVN has a fair amount of volume in it as of this moment. So under those circumstances, when volume starts accumulating in a small range, what you end up with is a higher probability that the market will break from balance and move away from here. The overnight session pushed to 1350, and the high is 1925. So it finally took back that high volume node where the point of control was before it moved down in the afternoon on Tuesday. So the expectation today is for the market to move away from this area probably. If not, then it's likely to consolidate in this zone again and build even more value in this area. The more volume we have concentrated in one area, the more likely the market is going to break away from there, and when it does, it'll likely do so in a trend fashion with strength, because the more people that trade a small range of prices, the more likely that more volume is going to come through once those people get stopped out. Remember, for every contract that's bought, somebody is short, somebody has sold, and so when the market moves away, it has an equal number of participants who are wrong as it does who are right on that particular move. So here we are. We're going to open on the upper end of yesterday's value. So we're opening in value out of range. Value area is approximately 20 or 1975 down to 1250 or so, 1225. The volume's fairly spread out yesterday. And the market really came back and accepted this 15 area as value for now, with a cluster of VWAP in the mid right in there. So we had a strong move on the open, but overall the drive was pretty lackluster. The best it could do was about plus 30,000 delta. Did not get into the stratosphere at all. And we still have this LVN zone to contend with. You can see the LVN zone and the MC over here. So today, it is not clear what is likely to play out at the moment. What I have to do in this situation, it looks like the dollar is pushing higher, Euro stocks and the DAX are pushing higher as well. What I have to do in this situation is see how the opening is treated and see how the participants came in and how the stocks open, and then figure out what the mood is. Since we are so close to the high and with the overnight stat probability, it looks like the overnight high is going to get tested first. But the important thing to see is when it gets tested, does it trip stops and then continue higher because it's above yesterday's high? Or does it push up and then basically hit its head against the ceiling and then come right back into value? If it comes back into value, I expect the market to cross the value area today and explore the other side. We still have this open drive that has not tested back in this thin zone here. Anything below value low, and you have a much higher probability of actually breaking yesterday's low and tagging the naked point of control at 1904.75. So in summary, it could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways. I don't have a higher probability of one thing happening over another at the moment. It's opening right in the edge of yesterday's trading, which is the freshest auction or the most recent auction, but it's opening right in the dead in the middle of the composite area of the last 2 days. And if I extend the composite back to Monday and Friday, then you have a lot more volume to contend with in this area. So the market's essentially in balance right now. So if I bring this back, you can see that we are really heavy in here. See how this volume, high volume node here, although the point of control is still 15, there's a high volume node that we're in right now. We're trading at 23. We're in this high volume node, and for that reason, when I look at yesterday's auction and the prior day's auction, the two closest auctions, it's hard for me to tell what it's going to do. So I have to wait till the open and see if a higher time frame is in action and is pushing the market in a given direction. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. That's all I had for you for today. We just need to sit and watch and see what the opening is like. And then if it crosses into yesterday's value area, I expect it to traverse the entire value area lower. If it breaks lower, then it's going to have a stem that's very thin. The stem can be seen better in a market profile chart. So right here, this is an excess low here that the market has left behind, but we still have lower highs, lower lows, lower high, lower low, with a value area that was imbalanced the day before, but lower yesterday. So to me, I think the seller still have a lot of fuel and can still push this auction lower, and that's what I'm looking for as the thing to happen here. But it's hard to tell since we're trading on the upper edge of yesterday's profile, and we cannot ignore the most recent auction. Okay, so I'll leave you with that. Good luck today, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.